Is your throat clear?
I've just got the stuff. So it just keeps coming back. It's okay.
Well,
Well,
that was really loud. Cough it. Get it. Get it out. Okay. Welcome to Christmas Traditions Around the World with Becca and Hannah, coming at you from Cackles and Conversations. Yeah. That was interesting, but it got the point across.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know what I just undid. Have you heard of the Christmas pickle?
No.
So, for some reason,
What?
I have been seeing more and more pickles around Christmas time. And it's weird. And last year, I decided to look it up because I was like, why is everything a pickle? It's weird, right? And apparently, it's a thing.
I did not know this.
Okay. It's usually thought of as a German tradition, but apparently that's starting to be debunked. I don't know the specific ins and outs of that, but the whole idea of this is that somebody will hide a pickle shaped decoration on the Christmas tree, and whoever finds it first thing on Christmas morning gets a reward, or they are blessed with good fortune for the oncoming year. Right?
I have never heard of this, and I don't know where you're seeing all these pickles at, but I have not been seeing.
If you ever came to see me at work, you would see all of the pickles.
Why are there pickles?
I just told you. Good fortune.
Okay, but they're okay. What are they, like? Pickle treats?
They're just pickles. They're like dog toys, cat toys, pickled pillows, pickles, pickledy pickles.
Are they decorated with Christmas hats or something?
Yes, they have hats and scarves and Santa hats on.
So I did not know that. Okay.
There's a pickle in front of my TV. I got it last year for Desmond. He loves it.
He's got a scarf on.
Yeah, it's in front of my TV because he brought it to me last night while I was watching TV.
That's cute.
So it more than likely was started and became a tradition around the 19th century, and it's now more commonly thought of as a German American tradition versus just a strictly German tradition. In the 1980s, Germany started getting glass decorations imported.
Okay.
A lot of them were vegetable themed. Which, I mean, like, I guess in the 1800s, like, what else are you gonna make your decorations out of? Pig butt? Like,
You said 1980, right?
1890. If I said 1980, that was my bad. It's 1890 because it's the 19th
1890.
century.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Berrien Springs, Michigan has so proudly claimed themselves the Christmas pickle capital of the world.
How have I never heard of this?
And from 1992 to 2005, they held an annual pickle parade. It went on hiatus for a few years and restarted again in 2021.
What?
There's one story that suggests the origins are from the American Civil War, when Private John Lauer was captured and held as a prisoner of war. He was starving and he begged the guard for anything to eat, even a pickle.
Even a pickle.
The guard obliged, gave him a pickle, and Lauer claims that this pickle saved his life.
Wow.
So
Good
when he
fortune.
went back to his home country, he began the tradition of hiding a pickle in his tree for good fortune. Because I'd say you'd have to have pretty good fortune as a prisoner of war to survive and be able to go back home.
That is odd, though. Why would one be like,
I
oh,
don't know.
I'ma hide a pickle in my tree.
Because he credited the pickle as the only thing that saved his life.
Yeah, but it would make more sense if you like eat a pickle on New Year's Eve, like black eyed peas.
I didn't write history.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just
I'm
saying.
just
It doesn't make.
repeating it.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. You're asking me really difficult questions I don't have answers for. He just went and jumped in his wheel. I saw it move behind me. Another origin story comes from Berrien Springs, which is a Victorian era tale of none other than Saint Nicholas himself.
The saint.
The story is that he saved 2 children who were trapped in a barrel of pickles by an innkeeper. The story goes as such is that there was, well, I suppose this is a more intense version of the story, that there was a butcher who was trapping children and cannibalizing them. And St. Nicholas had found a group of boys in a barrel of pickles and resurrected them.
So they were being pickled.
Yes. Fear not, the pickles I am referring to are those of the cucumber variety, but maybe the pickles in the St. Nicholas story were of the small boy variety.
Okay, so I'm guessing this butcher's alias is the butcher, and he was Krampus.
Maybe
stealing children.
Those stories are awfully convenient, aren't they?
And then the saint came and resurrected them from the pickle jar.
Do you think he got all the pickling juice out of them or just left them in there and they were a little green for the rest of their lives?
Pickling doesn't make the cucumbers green. It just makes them pickled and turned into pickles.
I know.
Nah, they probably just smell like vinegar and salt for the rest of their life.
That's unfortunate.
They were some salty children.
Yeah, so that's a brief synopsis on the Christmas pickle.
That's really interesting, though.
It's weird.
It is really weird.
Have you ever heard of a large, monstrous cat that comes from the countryside to consume you if you haven't gotten new clothes before Christmas?
Where did you find this stuff? Please tell me. No, I've never heard of that.
There's not a lot of information on this one because it never really gained traction in folklore, so it's kind of like a hit or miss, but it's called a Yule cat.
Ah.
It is a monstrous cat
Yuletime cheer.
that patrols the countryside.
Ooh.
And it's not really known if the cat eats your food or eats you, but something along the way gets consumed by this cat if you don't get new clothes before Christmas.
So you have to buy a whole new wardrobe?
I found one snippet that says something about it was a threat that was traditionally used as an incentive for farm workers to finish processing the wool that was collected before Christmas, and that farmers who took part in the work were rewarded with new clothes. So I'm assuming that's kind of where it came from.
I love how they use fear to get people to do what they want.
It works, does it not?
Yeah. I mean, they probably just was like, yeah, I don't want something to come eat me or my food.
Yeah.
Or
Especially
my
not a
family and
large
I are going to
cat.
starve or die.
Cats are scary, no joke.
Yeah, especially big ones. That is so cool.
La Quima del Diablo.
The devil.
What about the devil?
I don't know.
We're burning him
Why?
in Guatemala.
Okay,
They burn him.
We're burning the devil.
This is a tradition that started in the 18th century.
Ooh.
It's believed that it was started in monasteries where they would burn a figure of the devil and light fireworks on the day of the rosary in October, which is a bit far off from December, right? It was later moved to December as a way to celebrate Mary's success over evil. The purpose is to purify the home and ward off evil spirits, and families will make bonfires in the street and in front of their houses and burn the image of the devil as a way to like signify purification.
It sounds like a pagan ritual to me.
Well, yeah. I mean, a lot of modern day traditions are based in pagan history.
I think it sounds like they were Catholic.
Probably. Yeah, well, what I'm about to say will probably solidify that.
Okay.
This is a holiday. The La Quema del Diablo is a holiday that preps for the Feast of the Immaculate Conception as it purifies the conception of Jesus. It is held on December 7th at 6 p.m., and it is the official start to the Christmas season in Guatemala. What's really funny about this is that I was working on researching this specific one on December 7th at 5:56.
What?
I looked at that and I was like, hold on, it's the beginning of December. And I looked down and I was like,
that is creepy.
I was like, oh my God, I need to go start a bonfire in the back alley.
Oh gosh. Cleanse this home of the demons.
And this is the part that I found like really interesting. I've also saved my favorite for last.
Okay.
This is quite popular in Antigua, Guatemala, specifically. In the 1990s, craftsmen started constructing human-sized figures of the devil.
Mm-hmm.
They will then place it upon the center of town and bonfire it.
Yeah.
But these devils are different every year. They have different facial expressions and they have different artistic pieces to them every year.
Oh.
And a lot of times they are a representation of a satire of different people, some with political motives or representing different events from different parts of the world. So like in modern days, they are cleansing themselves from like the proper evils of the world, which I found very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just blasting you with all kinds of new ideas.
Ugh.
I see your gears turning.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like Gaelic traditions, Scottish traditions. They would do that, but in a different way, of course. Mm-hmm. And it also made me think of the Burning Man.
Yeah, for sure. That's my first thought when I read that.
That was my very first thought, was the Burning Man. I was like,
yeah. My personal favorite. Noche de Rabanos.
Okay, translation?
Night of the radishes.
Okay, I'm ready.
This is celebrated in Oaxaca, Mexico.
Oaxaca.
This is an event that is held on the evening of December 23rd, and its origins are around colonial times when the Spanish introduced radishes to Mexico. And just for anyone that doesn't know, myself included until I read this, radishes are native to China. So that is not something that we would have had in Mexico during the colonial times without the Spanish.
I did not
intercepting.
know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So these radishes started as snacks and were sometimes carved into like more intricate shapes like flowers and those kinds of things to make side dishes more interesting and special. They then
Ooh.
transitioned to have more religious carvings and were put on the market or put in the market on December 23rd. The carvings, after they kind of took that more religious turn, were used as a like marketing tactic for the market to get more people in and to drive more business to the market. It is said
Oh.
at some point during the 18th century, the radish harvest was so plentiful that so much of the crop remained unharvested until late December. Like, imagine as a community, you have one singular crop that is so excessive that you're just like, I mean, we don't really need half of that. We'll just leave it, I guess. What a plentiful year. Anyway, so they were left until December, like late December, which is, you know, at that
Dang.
point, you probably don't want to eat them anymore.
Right?
When they were harvested, they looked a little weird. They were a lot bigger than they should be. And some of them even had like funny shapes to them because they were left to grow so long.
Right.
The ones that did have the weirder shapes that kind of made people chuckle or think twice, they were taken to the market and sold. Of course, because they're different. They're intriguing.
Unique.
They're unique. From there, people started carving them. And in 1897, the mayor of the city announced an annual carving competition.
It's like pumpkin carving, but with radishes.
Mm-hmm. Modern competitions, many of the carvings reflect nativity scenes, but it is also common to see carvings that reflect life in Oaxaca, Oaxacan folklore, and the other non-Christmas themed biblical scenes. The Oaxacan government set aside a plot of land dedicated to growing radishes specifically for this annual competition. It is heavily fertilized, heavily laden with pesticides, and that is the only thing that field is used for. Because of this, you don't want to eat them. Like, period.
Yeah.
Right? And they are used exclusively for carving. The resulting vegetables can be up to 50 centimeters in length, 10 centimeters or wider, and can weigh up to 3 kilos.
Ew.
And just so you know what that is, that's like 6.5, 7 pounds.
That's insane.
Like, imagine holding a radish that big. It is estimated that about 10 tons of radishes were harvested for the festival in 2023.
Wow.
That's a lot of radishes. There's different age groups and categories for these competitions as well. And the grand prize for the adult traditional category, which is like the highest category you can be in,
Right.
is 15,000 pesos, which in
Ooh.
US dollars is about $743.
That's a lot of money.
Kids typically win bikes and school supplies for placing in their categories, which is pretty cool. Like, what's a kid gonna do with $743?
Yeah.
But I thought that was really interesting because, yeah, like we carve pumpkins, but for Halloween. So that was like a similarity. But then also, instead of carving like scary faces and scary scenes in it, they carve like religious scenes and Christmas themed things. And I thought that was cool. And I also thought it was cool that they have made like a whole thing out of it.
I think it's cool how they came about it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh gosh, we didn't even have to touch these.
Mm-hmm.
Like our village was so blessed, and then they came back and they were just like, look at these. Think about all the things we can do with this. And then some creative fox comes around and they're like, I'll show you what you can do with that.
You
And
want to
then it
know what
became
you
a
can
big
do?
old trend.
Let me show you.
Can I use that so I can read mine?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. So mine are not as fun as yours. Mine are like,
More serious.
yeah.
I just found like really weird ones. I searched something along the lines of like non-US Christmas traditions, and that's what they all popped up with.
Okay, so let's see. I kind of have like a mix of like a little bit of everything.
Okay.
There's a little touch of American stuff and European and stuff like that. The first tradition is called Saturnalia.
Okay.
It's a Roman pagan festival that is taking place in December. So this was the most celebrated. It was the most celebrated festival, the biggest thing that they had in the ancient Rome calendar.
Okay.
To the point where, like, you didn't work. All the businesses were closed, schools, courts, and people would decorate their homes in greenery, and they would change out of their old clothes into bright colored togas.
That's really fun.
Yes. And even in some cases, so the slaves didn't have to work either. In some cases, their masters would sit them at the head of the table and serve them instead during the festival period.
Wow. That's really interesting.
Yeah. So they would spend this time singing and gambling and playing music, feasting and gifting with their friends and loved ones. On the last day, they would give their friends or their loved ones like little figurines rather than doing human sacrifices that they used to do.
Seems like a really solid alternative.
Yeah. So a lot of people speculate that the Christian holiday kind of takes away from this holiday. Like they kind of like, adopted some of the things that they had done.
Yeah.
Now we have St. Lucia's Day. This is a Scandinavian festival in December. So this holiday, so in Scandinavia during the winter, there's only a couple hours of daylight. Yeah. So most days where we're at, there are several hours of daylight.
Yeah, more than a couple, that's for sure.
Yeah. So there's only like a little during the winter, there's only a couple hours. And so with this festival, they would celebrate the light in the long dark winter. So they're like, thank you for at least having some light. So it's December 13th when they originally started celebrating this. It's really close to winter solstice. Winter solstice is their shortest day of the year with like the most smallest amount of light within the day.
Mm.
So they do it before that.
That makes sense.
So in the Julian Roman calendar, December 13th was winter solstice. And so the actual person they named it after, Saint Lucia, was a Christian who was killed by Romans in 304 AD because of her religious beliefs. This Saint Lucia would take food to Christians in hiding, lighting candles on her head to light her way, so she would have her hands free to bring the food to them. At this time, Christianity was illegal.
Mm.
So this is like a Sweden tradition, and it lights up the Christmas season. So because it's right before they start their Christmas season. So it's like this holiday, winter solstice, and then it's Christmas. So it's like bam, bam, bam.
Okay.
So how they do it nowadays typically is they so they would have light up candles or canes and have songs and young girls dressed in white and wearing wreaths of candles on their heads and distribute baking goods. And that's pretty much it, because it's a very short-lived festival.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
so, okay. So I did a little bit on Christmas.
Okay. Hit me. But don't actually hit me. That might hurt.
Okay, so this holiday is, of course, on December 25th
Correct.
of each calendar year.
Mm-hmm.
So some other countries celebrate it on January 7th, like European countries. The Philippines have the longest standing celebration that starts September 1st and hits its peak in December, that concludes a week after New Year's.
Damn, they always partying out there.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
The Christmas celebration started in Rome around 336 AD.
That makes sense.
Under the rule of Emperor Constantine. He was the first Christian emperor, and he was weakening the pagan traditions. December 25th being a day of celebration of the unconquered sun, S-U-N, making the return of longer days.
Yeah.
Being the day of celebration, I already read that. So this started after Saturnina, because they're still going by that same calendar. So it's the 13th. But before it was later.
Yeah.
Okay. Or now it's later.
Okay.
It's confusing. So, so this is when they stopped during the, so Constantine stopped the Saturnina at this time.
Okay.
It did, but Christmas didn't become a major holiday until the 9th century. Okay. And Christmas decorations like Christmas trees. I didn't know this. I was like, what? It started later in Germany in the 19th century.
I feel like I've heard about this.
And in England, it became more popular when the royal family was in a photo around a decorative tree published in a newspaper in 1848. And then it became popular in Europe.
Yeah.
In U.S., where we be, it gained popularity in the home around the 1820s and started displaying more across America in the 1830s. So that's when they started like actually like printing it and like having displays in public with it.
Yeah.
So the original thought on the evergreen tree was to represent or symbolize the Garden of Eden. Which I didn't know why. I couldn't find why.
Because it is always green, and the Garden of Eden is always green and luscious. That's the connection my brain made.
Okay. Did you know
Whether or not that's true. Did I know?
that Christmas was banned for 20 years?
That didn't surprise me. Why and where?
Okay. So it was banned in Boston, Massachusetts for 20 years from 1659 to 1681.
Uh-huh.
And this was because of a group of English Protestants who settled in Massachusetts. They believed that Christmas was a holiday for sinners with excess and indulgence. They considered Christmas trees and decorations to be an unholy ritual. Here are the things banned that you would get penalized for: dancing, seasonal plays, games, singing carols, drinking, eating traditional Christmas food or snacks like mince pies, pudding. And during this time, all stores had to be open because before they wanted to close the stores when they were celebrating it. So they're like, you're going to keep the stores open so we know that this is not happening. So all stores had to be open.
That's really weird.
Yeah. They were required to stay open all day long. And if they got caught doing one of these things, they owed a fine of 5 shillings. And it was finally repealed in 1681.
Yeah, I was kind of on their side when they were like, it's a bit indulgent. I was like, yeah, I can see that. But they just seem like fun killers to me. Like, I can't dance or sing or eat pudding or go to plays. What? And you're forcing me to be at work on top of all of this? No. No, I'm good.
So I went down a little rabbit hole. Yes. Is Christmas demonic?
I hope so.
Oh my gosh. Oh no. So if you look at the back of a $1 bill.
Hold on, are we getting into conspiracies? Please keep going.
If you look at the back of a $1 bill, you'll see a pyramid.
Pause. Pause. Ah!
Pause.
Ah!
Pause.
Can you draw lightly so the government still accepts it?
Yes. Okay. So you see right here in this little circle shape, there is a pyramid.
Correct, with the Illuminati eye.
With the all-seeing eye. Okay. Now, you see it says Unit Septis Novus Ordo Seclorum, whatever the heck that means.
I think that's Latin. Maybe I'm really wrong.
So if you write a pentagram. What? What?
You're drawing on the screen.
Oh my gosh.
You do that, heathen? I feel like I just gave her like ritualistic paper and she's about to damn me to hell.
Oh gosh, I don't know if I can do it.
You can do it. Believe in yourself.
I already did that one. Okay. Pretend that's a star. So the first letter, the last letter, the first letter, and then the last letter. Okay? If there's a pentagram there, it encloses first, last, first, last on that. Okay, there's your visual. The all-seeing eye is the unfinished power of Babel. Babel is mentioned in the Bible. George Washington was a renowned Mason,
Okay.
aka the all-seeing eye. So looking at the $1 bill, you'll see the all-seeing eye along with the first and the last of the words. The first on the first word, anut, however you say that.
Mm-hmm.
The last letter of Seuriptis, whatever. Okay, so you get that. So creating a pentagram or a star with this spelling out Mason. The Washington Monument built in Washington's honor is the tallest kind in the world. It is 555 feet high.
That's specific.
555 times 12 inches equals out to 6,660 inches. 666.
0.
Nimrod was the one who built the Tower of Babel to go and try to defeat God. Nimrod was 70 he has 70 different names, like Osiris or Apollo. He ruled as a king in Shinar, aka Iraq. His birthday is December 25th. He is known to have a long beard, reindeer, and a Christmas tree. The Christmas tree represents Nimrod's penis. And it is the only part of his body that was not found. His wife started the tree tradition and hung balls on it, aka balls. You got it?
Y'all be decorating shafts and you don't even know it.
And the garland is wrapped around it to signify a snake. The 5-pointed star at the top is made to represent a pentagram.
Not the North Star.
The people would. Okay, so the people would have an iron stove. Okay. This is so messed up. The shape of Moloch. They would place their babies inside and burn it so hot it turned red on December 25th. They truly believed if they sacrificed their babies, they would receive everything they wished for on their wish list within the next year. Moloch was an iron giant statue made of iron underneath this image of an there was an oven that was stocked until it became bright red. The image resembled today's Satan Claus, aka Santa Claus, and people are still believed to be offering their children to Moloch.
The main thing I've held on to from that story is that everybody erects a tree to hang circular ornaments on.
Yes. Yes.
I thoroughly enjoyed that one.
Yeah. So, like, Nimrod, he was like a really bad. So he was a king.
Correct.
But he was also a very harsh ruler that was believed to be cannibalistic and cruel. And at first he was not. He was not like this.
Politics hardened him.
But he became like that. So Nimrod was a descendant from Noah.
Mm-hmm.
And Noah still had the cloak, or Nimrod still had a cloak that belonged to Noah. And God told him, if you put this cloak on, you will be strong. So he put on the cloak and he became a giant. And after he did that, he became, because like before he was obedient and good and listened to God.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turned into a tyrant.
A giant tyrant.
A giant tyrant.
That'd be scary.
Yeah.
I'd listen to him. You look at him sideways and he sneezes and you don't exist anymore.
Yeah. So he was just like, yeah, come offer all your children and burn them.
Give me your children.
So this is another reason why people think that it's demonic, is because it represents something so evil.
You notice how I don't have a tree in my house?
You don't like Christmas?
I don't like Satan.
I know you don't like Satan. But like the whole thing is that like there's so much speculation. Like like some Christians they don't do it at all because they think it's just straight up like pagan. Others for things like that, and then others they're like, we're celebrating the birth of Jesus. And then some people are like how my mom was, and she was just like, we're just doing it to spend time with each other.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, there was no rhyme or reason. It's just crazy, like, how different people's traditions and how they see things are.
Yeah. And I don't think there's a right or wrong one. It's just whatever works for you. Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, it's crazy, though. Like, it's so vast.
It's so versatile.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
That was very interesting. I really enjoyed the Satanic Christmas one.
Thank you.
That was great.
I really liked your dill pickles and your radishes.
No, they ain't dill pickles. They just pickles. And maybe they be sweet pickles.
They're sweet pickles.
Like the sweet gherkins or the bread and butter. Maybe they are dill. I don't know. Pickles be pickling.
Pickles be pickling.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Well, if any of you fine people have Christmas traditions that you have heard of or participate in, or winter solstice traditions, or any winter holiday traditions
Yeah.
that you participate in and you'd like to share, we would love to hear about it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Down in the comments.
Comment.
But I mean, I think we nailed it.
Yeah. I think so. Merry Christmas.
Pick up that hammer and you've been nailed. Ho, ho, ho. I don't feel like that came out the way I wanted it to, and that was a good save. Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, Merry Christmas.
And as always, thank you for watching. We do appreciate it. And we will see ya
later
on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.